Okay, who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
What's up and what's going on, fellow fanatics, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we discuss all things movies, TV, streaming, hot topics, and more. And in a previous video, we did discuss the Wakanda Forever plot leaks. There were some things during that we did not get to discuss with you guys, so I wanted to jump back in that subreddit and discuss that with you guys. And this is coming to us from the Marvel Studios spoilers subreddit. They have a pretty reliable track record, so I wanted to jump back in here, dive with you guys, and discuss what is going on in the rest of this plot leak here. It starts saying the film will open with a flashback sequence of a Spanish invasion and colonization of the Americas. We will see an altercation between Namor's people and the conquistadors. Namor City will be called, I don't want to butcher that, but they still make a reference to it as Atlantis. Namor will be the son of a human and the queen of Atlantis. The Aztec jaguar god, I don't want to butcher that name, will appear. Namor will wear the Jaguar headset at one point and will be given the ability to fly by the gods. Although a recent rumor from the trusted and verified sources say that Namor is a mutant and it's why he has his wings on his feet just like the comics. Goes on to say when Namor first appears in Wakanda, he looks more like this, and it's during T'Challa's funeral scene. Namor will make his entrance in Wakanda and during T'Challa's funeral scene here. How, I don't know, that's just, for me, I would prefer, if we're going to do a scene like that, I would prefer for it to be T'Challa at someone from Wakanda that was, you know, important or something like that. Someone, if they are going to kill his mother, because that is something that is going to happen, maybe that could have happened and T'Challa could still be alive and well in the MCU. He could have been present. Then Namor bust into that funeral scene, and then we see how T'Challa and Shuri both react to their mother's funeral scene being disrespected by Namor. I just think that it's just so much more that you could do with T'Challa instead of having now his funeral scene be disrespected. Then it goes on to say that, get there. Goes on to say that Riri's role in screen time in the film is comparable to America Chavez in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Riri's first suit is made out of spare car parts, but she eventually gets a vibranium suit in Wakanda. She is the linchpin plot device and basically the reason the story happens, exactly like America and Multiverse of Madness. And I have no issues with Riri Williams at all being in this plot, in this film so far. Like I said, the things outside of killing T'Challa do not sound bad in this film. The reasons why she's there, we're actually going to get to see her in her first mock-up suit that, you know, is going to be made of cars before she gets the one out of vibranium. That's just dope to me. I would love to see that. Again, everything aside, we still don't have to kill T'Challa, and I'm going to say that every single time. Then they have here, in Wakanda, Shuri has recreated the heart-shaped herb in a lab, but she's not the only Black Panther. Some of the Dora Milajes have their own special enhanced suits, with Okoye actually suiting up as Black Panther as well alongside Shuri. Okoye will be in a same-sex relationship, probably with an already cast LGBTQ Dora from the comics, Anika, played by Michaela Cole. And this is okay with me too. I mean, we want to see powerful Black women on screen. I mean, Black women are the backbone of the Black community. So for us to not see powerful Black women on screen, that's not what anyone's saying when we're saying recast T'Challa. It's not discounting Shuri as Black Panther. It's not discounting anyone wanting to. I personally don't want to see a group of Black Panthers, but that's not me saying I don't want to see powerful Black women on screen. That's not me saying, I mean, we've already seen that. I believe it was in Civil War when we saw T'Challa walking with Ayo and I believe some of the other Doors, and they were walking toward the car that he was getting into, and Black Widow was standing in front of it. Ayo told him, "Move or you will be moved." That's again a Black woman stepping in front of her Black man and protecting him. And again, Black women are the backbone of our community. So no one's saying we don't want to see strong, powerful Black women. But this, again, killing T'Challa, if killing T'Challa is the result, and you have to get, this is the result of killing T'Challa. This is not what anyone wants. No one, I mean, I don't want to speak for the masses. Me personally, I don't want to see Okoye suit up in the Black Panther suit. Okoye is badass just being a Dora. Why can't she just continue to be a Dora? But killing off T'Challa, these are the measures, these are the things that they have to result to. They have to result to having Okoye suit up and having the rest of the Dora suit up instead of them playing their roles, playing their parts in Wakanda. I just again, it's just something that does not have to be done. Let's see. And then it goes on to say, once Shuri takes the herb, she expects to see T'Challa in the ancestral plane, but she sees Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, who helps her become the new Black Panther. Now, I'm really confused how Killmonger is going to help her become something he never was himself. It's just weird to me that, again, the absence of T'Challa in a film, you're taking that's like the Titanic without the Titanic. What are we watching? You're taking your main character, you're taking the main thing that everyone's wanting to see out of the film, and now he's not even going to be in the ancestral planes, and we touched on that in the video that we did as a group. But the fact that Killmonger is going to be in the ancestral planes, helping Shuri to become something that he never once was himself. Yes, he may have taken over and taken the heart-shaped herb and beaten T'Challa in combat to become Black Panther, but let's be real. He's never been Black Panther. He doesn't know what it's like to be the Black Panther like T'Challa does. So how is he going to teach her something that he's never experienced? When he was Black Panther, he was a dictator. He was a tyrant. So what's he going to teach her? How to suppress Wakanda? How to make people? How to be a dictator? I mean, I don't understand that. Again, T'Challa needs to be in the ancestral planes. The fact that, again, the absence of T'Challa and we're not going to see him is wildly crazy to me. But it goes on to say, that's fine, we'll need to read that. There's a huge war between Atlantis and Wakanda, where Wakanda is flooded and Shuri and T'Challa's mom, Queen Ramonda, die in the flood. Eventually, Shuri defeats Namor, but doesn't kill him. At the end, M'Baku becomes the new king, and most sources believe that he will also be the definitive Black Panther, which was changed last minute due to Letitia Wright's anti-vax views, causing problems in production. Daniel RPK says that M'Baku does not become king, but Shuri continues to be Black Panther. And again, we've seen conflicting reports there of what's actually going to happen with M'Baku story at the end of all of this. We really don't know. As far as Shuri's mom dying, again, it's just another death, a death in the family, gone. I mean, that's probably, in my opinion, Angela Bassett probably saying, write me out of this. She has been on the red carpet saying that that it's going to be one of the best, like they've all said. Winston Duke has said the same thing, even though in the interview he did look really down about talking about Chadwick, as they all have been, but they have all also said the same thing. It's going to be one of the best films. It's a dedication to Chadwick. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. But they're also under contract. So I want to see, after the film is released and contracts are up, what are they going to be saying about this film? With Angela Bassett's character dying, again, it's just another death in the family gone. I mean, at this point, it's just Shuri. Their dad's gone. Her mom is about to be gone. Her brother's gone. It's just going to be Shuri. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. But then it goes on to say, and I do want to touch on that, on M'Baku being the Black Panther. Listen, like I said yesterday, or in the previous video, I am all for, and I'm okay with M'Baku going on to be the king of Wakanda. That's fine if they want to do that. I mean, I say that's fine, but I'm more so just like, that's not the biggest thing I'm worried about, because it's really not fine, because again, in the comics, they both have completely different views. I believe it was Trey that said in our video, they would be completely different rulers. They'd be completely different king. The way T'Challa thinks is not the way M'Baku thinks. The way M'Baku thinks is not the way T'Challa thinks. What the Wakanda T'Challa wants is not the Wakanda that M'Baku wants. So I'm saying I don't mind seeing him sit on the king's throne, but I'm also saying at the same time, I don't want that. I don't want it, but I'm yielding to it. I don't want it, but I'm yielding to it. But as far as him being the Black Panther, that's a no. I feel like, for all these people saying it's not that big of a deal, we can see M'Baku be Black Panther, that would be really, really cool. Well, that's really easy to say when it's your favorite character, that the studio and whoever else is not saying, source material be damned. Because if this was Spider-Man that they were doing this to, or changing everything with Spider-Man, if this was Doctor Strange, or if this was any of your other favorite characters out there that they were doing, the X-Men are coming up, if they change anything with the X-Men, we're going to hear the uproars about it from the fandom. If the Fantastic Four is not the way the fandom feel the Fantastic Four should be, the fandom is going to have an uproar for it. Why? Because those are characters that you love. Those are characters you have grown up with loving. Same thing hand in hand with T'Challa. I love T'Challa. He's my favorite Marvel character. So no, I don't want to see things changed. I don't want the source material to be changed, not just with him, but also with characters surrounding him. I don't want to see M'Baku become the Black Panther because he never has been that. And yes, you can say this is the MCU, they change things all the time, but not this drastic to where we have to. These are the things that are having to be done because Marvel is making the choice of not casting T'Challa. We wouldn't even be having this discussion if Marvel just made the decision to put T'Challa back on his throne. We don't have to have M'Baku be king. We can still have Shuri at one point become the Black Panther if that's what Marvel wants to do, but that's side by side with her brother. It's just these things that they're changing. Again, it's easy to sit back when it's not your favorite character. It's easy to make those comments and say, oh, you're making a big deal, you're just ranting, you're just crying, you're trying to bully Marvel into a decision. That's easy when it's not your favorite character. But for some of you out there that adore Spider-Man, and I use Spider-Man because I too adore Spider-Man, if something was changed in Spider-Man's origins or Spider-Man's whatever, we would have an uproar about it. If it was changed to the fact of getting rid of Spider-Man, or if something happened like Tom Holland still hasn't signed his contracts to come back to Marvel, let's just hypothetically speak and say Tom didn't sign those contracts. In Marvel, and wait a minute, he didn't sign the contracts, and then Marvel made the decision, well, because Tom Holland gave us such an amazing trilogy with the Far From Home and Homecoming and No Way Home, it's for that reason we have decided not to recast the character, and he will not be continuing in the MCU. Right. Stop the bullshit. Y'all would go crazy over that shit. So yes, it's a big deal to see M'Baku put on the Black Panther suit. I don't want to see that personally. As a fan that knows the history of Black Panther, I do not want to see that. And I'm sure there are other Black Panther fans out there that feel the exact same way. Then goes on to say, at the end, Nakia reveals to Shuri that she has a child with T'Challa. Marvel plans for him to eventually take over the Black Panther mantle once it grows up. And yes, in Marvel Comics, T'Challa does have a child with Storm, and it is Azari. Now, here's the thing, though. I said this in our previous video. So you're going to now have T'Challa's child come in, that Marvel now says they eventually plan to have take over as the Black Panther mantle. How old is this child going to be in the film? And not only how old is this child going to be in the film, but how long until we see this child get to join in? I mean, he's not going to be old enough. I'm assuming he's not going to be old enough to join the Young Avengers. I'm assuming by the time this child grows up and, like Marvel says, eventually takes over the Black Panther mantle, what's that going to be, phase 10? I mean, again, this is what I was saying earlier about unnecessary. It's not unnecessary to enter Azari into the MCU. It's unnecessary that he's going to now grow up without his father in the MCU. And again, that's a stereotype. Why does Marvel want to harp on these stereotypes in the Black community? It's weird to me. I'm not sure. But as far as having all these different things go on with Azari and Black Panther, it's strange to me because, like I said, you're gonna now have it to where this child is gonna be growing up without a father, without a Black father. We see that far too much already in the Black community. We don't go to the movies to watch something fictional to see our real lives played out. When I go sit down in the movie theater, it's for me to escape reality. It's for me to now place myself and immerse myself in an IP that I enjoy, and I want to see the fictional things told. That's not fiction when you do that. You're now taking real life tragedy and then putting it into movies, and you're forcing us as the audience to relive that real life tragedy. There's no way that we should be watching this black boy grow up in the MCU without his strong, excellent king black father. Again, these are the unnecessary things that are being done in the MCU when you kill off such a strong character like T'Challa. And it's not, again, I want to keep saying this, it's not bullying Marvel into a decision. It's not trying to make Marvel do anything. All it is saying to ourselves, all it is telling Marvel, do not make the mistake of killing T'Challa. Recast T'Challa. Because again, now you've got stuff like this going on. You've got things where Nakia's just all of a sudden got a child, and he's gonna grow up without his father. Like I said, and I'll say this too, I've seen other YouTubers praising so many different things going on in the plot leak. And again, that's fine. You can feel in how you want to feel, you can do what it is you want to do. But as far as giving praise to this plot, I can't do that. I can't look at this plot and give Marvel any type of praise, because again, it's the absence of T'Challa. It's now taking away a character that it means so much to so many different people. As I touched on in the last video, there were kids that were holding funerals for T'Challa with their action figures. And now these same kids are going to sit back down in the movie theater and look on screen and watch their hero die the exact same way of an illness that he died in real life. That's jarring. And that's not something that, again, when we go to a fictional film, that we want to see. And now those very same kids are going to have to go to the movie theater, sit down, and watch their superhero die of an illness. Now, tell me when and ever the fuck has a superhero on screen died of an illness? But no, these kids are going to have to go sit down, and not just the kids, we as the adults that are fans of Black Panther 2 are going to have to go sit down and watch our superhero. Our superhero. Superheroes are supposed to be untouchable. They're not untouchables where they can't die, but of an illness? If my hero dies, I don't want my hero to die of an illness. When has Superman ever died of an illness in any iteration? When has Batman in any iteration ever died of an illness? When has Spider-Man in any iteration ever died of an illness? When and ever the fuck has any superhero in any iteration ever just died of an illness? Especially in the MCU and the cinematic universe. Again, why are we translating real life into fiction? I don't get that. Again, these kids are going to have to go watch their superhero die on screen. Our superheroes aren't supposed to die of illnesses. We don't want to see our superheroes die of illnesses, of real life tragedy. We want to see our superheroes die in combat. Our superheroes die a heroic death. We want to see our superheroes accomplish things before they actually die. But this would be T'Challa's third time dying in the MCU. And again, little boys and little girls that held funerals for their action figure T'Challa, Marvel, are going to have to sit down in the theater and watch what you are now doing to T'Challa. I've seen some people saying, well, somewhere down the line they can give us a multiversal T'Challa. That's cool. You know, that's one thing about the multiverse. The multiverse is the bailout for anything if it gets too sticky. But I personally do not want to see a multiversal T'Challa. Why don't I want to see a multiversal T'Challa? Because as we've seen throughout the multiverse, they're not all the same. Not all of them are the same. Every variant is different. Even in Doctor Strange, we saw that. We saw that the variants that were in of Strange were not pure of heart like our Strange. And I don't want to say pure of heart, but Earth 616 heroes are supposed to be the best of them. Our heroes are supposed to be the best of them. Not just within the comics, but I believe that's the same theme throughout the MCU. That the Earth 616 heroes, no matter where you go throughout the multiverse, no matter how many different variants you meet of them, in the Earth 616, that is going to be the best version of them. A multiversal T'Challa hasn't been through things like our T'Challa has been through. We don't know what his attitude is, what his train of thought is. We don't know what he's been through. So why would we then want to replace our T'Challa with a T'Challa we haven't even been on a journey with as the audience? You know, we got to see T'Challa in Civil War. We got to see him in his own film. We got to go on the journey with him for the time he was in Infinity War, for the time he showed back up in Endgame. we as an audience have been on a personal journey with T'Challa. I don't want some T'Challa where you have to give me a montage of he's been through this or he's done that. If you even do that, that's not something I personally would want. I wouldn't want to see a multiversal T'Challa. I don't, again, these are all things that you don't have to do because you don't have to kill the current 616 T'Challa off. Understand, the movie, as they're calling it, a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. If it was a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, you'd be doing what Chadwick Boseman asked you to do. Chadwick Boseman wanted the character recast, but again, as I said in the last video, Nate Moore said it took minutes for him and Ryan Coogler to sit down and decide, hey, we're not going to recast the character. Not thinking about what that's going to do to the fandom, what that's going to do to the film. You're taking your main character out of the film. And again, you may feel different about it than I do. You may say, why are we going so hard on it? Because if this was anyone else, the character would be recast. But the simple fact that Black Panther lined Disney and Marvel's pockets with $1 billion, and they're now making the decision, and doubling down on the decision to not recast T'Challa. Again, it's just not something I can get behind. And these plot leaks, if these plot leaks indeed are true, and I was gonna go into the Doctor Doom stuff, but you know, I feel like there's some really cool things that I feel like they're setting up with Doctor Doom, and I don't want to make it seem like, oh, you know, I got a comment too that said, you know, if we continue to rant and we continue to do this and we continue to do that, and if we give them our money, if you give this film your money, then all of your rants are for nothing. And again, I disagree with that. The reason I disagree with that is simply because I have a platform, and me having a platform, I use my voice, and me using my voice, I put my voice out there in the Recast T'Challa space. So I want to make sure that I do my subscribers justice, because we have subscribers that are asking us, commenting on videos, hey, are you guys going to touch on this? Are you going to touch on that? I want to do my subscribers justice by making sure that I cover all the necessary things. Even if you don't want to go see it, that's fine. I'll go see it for you, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. As like I said, as far as it goes right now, rumored and officially said, there's nothing that has come out that has gotten me excited for this film. There's nothing that has come out that has said, I am so ready for November 11th. I am so ready to sit down and watch what's going on with Wakanda Forever, because T'Challa's not in it. But as always, questions for you guys. Let us know down below what you guys are wanting to see in this film. What do you guys think about some of the things that we did not get to touch on in the previous video for the plot leaks? Again, if you have not seen that video, go check that video out. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you like what you've heard about Recast T'Challa, if you support Recast T'Challa, we're here. We're going to be covering everything. I mean, like I said, the film is now 4 months away, and the trailer that we are thinking may get shown at SDCC, which means it could be coming out maybe no time soon. I'm not sure. It could leak from SDCC if Marvel actually does put anything out that same weekend on YouTube for us to see as the viewers. So that we could see something there. They could be they're going to be talking about the film, I'm sure, if the cast and Ryan Coogler do come out at San Diego Comic-Con. It's definitely going to be a very interesting 4 months moving up until the film, and I'm going to be here. We are going to be here with you guys to cover it all, and I appreciate every single one of you that have been commenting and subscribing and liking our Recast T'Challa videos. And again, this is not a movement that we started, but it is a movement that we full-heartedly support over here at Planet Fanatics. And I want to give a huge shout out to E-Man over at E-Man's Movie Reviews. If you don't know and you haven't been over there, I'm sure everybody by now should know and does know who E-Man is, but if you have not been over to his channel, go ahead and head over to his channel. Go head over to change.org/Recast T'Challa, sign the petition. If you have not signed that petition and you do support Recast T'Challa, it is there. Again, we appreciate you guys for engaging with us and supporting us along this journey. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And again, I'm here because this is my favorite character. I adore T'Challa. I adore Black Panther. You know, again, as I said in my previous video, it's literally Black history, and there are so many black little boys and black little girls, and not just black little boys and black little girls. It's kids of all different colors that look up to T'Challa. I remember there was a time during Halloween that someone had posted on Facebook that their child, and she was white, she said that her child was upset because he was told that he couldn't be Black Panther because he was black, or he was white and he wasn't black. So many different kids look up to Black Panther. So you're not just taking him away from the black community, you're taking him away just off the screen for so many different children that look up to him. So many different colored children had funerals for T'Challa with their action figures, Marvel. That's something you have to think about. There are children that are having to do real life things with their fictional characters that they're playing with as action figures. So let us know down below what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll see you guys in the next video.